It's exciting times now because I can finally get the tank off and have a look what's going on underneath there. It's got a crossover pipe which you don't see much, plus the fuel tap's on the right hand side, so it's a bit of a novelty. That pipe's got more rust on it than I wanted. The shock absorber's not leaking, so I'll just have to have a good inspection later on. The cable work's all good, it hasn't been played with, all the little clips are still there. Now it's time to hang the bike. I can walk around, I can sit on the chair, just look at things, and everything just comes into place when it's at eye height instead of looking down all the time. Just to walk around, just to have a look at it. I'll use this again for reference where things go later on. But it's all there. The bike's nice. I quite like working on this one. It's no one like me when I was a kid has played with it and pulled bits off and you don't need that and chucked it, you know. All the little clips are there, the nuts are still got square edges on it. No one's been in there before, which is really nice to work on a bike like that. I really want to get my fingers into that motor, but I just have to restrain myself and just do other things. There's so much potential there, and I really got to think about what I want to do with this bike. Yeah, it's tempting, I know. Underneath the tank, it's great. It's clean, no rust. It's really nice. The top of the tank, it's all that rust that's underneath the paint. If I polish it, I'll rip the top off it. I just can't touch it. So I just got to leave that. Inside the tank, there's no rust in there. I can see with my nose in there all the way to the fuel tap. There's no rust along there. This is the tank after I've cleaned it. I've cleaned it well, and then just rubbed the lanolin in it and wiped it off. And it's just, that's the way it's going to be. There's not much else I can do. Underneath, it's just nice. The fuel tap come apart just like it should. The screws were nice. I've got a new kit coming for it, which will just renew all that because the O-rings were hard. One thing I did notice, there was a lot of gum in the sediment bowl, so I cleaned that out. And now I managed to get some of that gum out of the bottom of the fuel bowl here, and I know what you're thinking because I thought the same thing myself. I wonder if there's any oomph left in it, you know. It might be the next best thing, condensed energy. So I might give it just a little test to see what happens. I don't need that. This is my safety, a stainless steel tray here, so on top of another stainless steel bowl, so maybe I should do that. Oh no, I'll do this. So that's there. This, in case it all goes wrong, I just go, that should stop it. Unless of course it explodes, then I'm in big trouble. So let's just move this where we can all see it. And here we go. Jeez, that was quick. There's something left in it. That's got to be 30 years old. Safety first. I have to start somewhere, and I'll start with a side stand. It looks nice and straight, so I can't see any problems. That I had to just bang the ends together a little bit, so I was a little bit frayed. But apart from that, that's just a wash, clean up, coat, whichever way I'm going to do it, and put away. The pinion pegs look nice. I can't see any issues with that. They're pulled apart nice. The nuts and screws all come apart as they're supposed to. When I did have a close look, though, you could see that one on the left there is just a bit bent. So I put metal between it so I could just wedge it in place and then put it in the vise and straighten. The nuts are there to protect the threads. It didn't work quite like I thought it would. You bend it and you feel like you're doing the job, but later on I looked at it and it wasn't. So the next was plan B, and this worked. It worked a little bit too well because it bent the arms of it, so I had to fix that up too.
danger to the community.
Has been truly extraordinary.
Yeah, there's been a real deep dive and full breakdown on some of the lyrics, actually praising James from Melbourne as an 11 or 12-year-old, whatever he was. Say, for example, it's every line by line, but one says, what people don't know is I'm a robot. This line here suggests that he is none for...
That measuring says there's still a bit of a bend in it, but I think the thread tips are just worn down, but that's where the lock nut works.
You can count on me and Billie Eilish in the forest. All the good girls go to hell. They both played Groovy Lou. Those festivals over now. Trophy Guys looking to Splendor in the Grass. And if you've got a band who would like to play Splendor in the Grass too, Unearth competition for that festival has opened.
Now, more things I've finished with. I've cleaned these up. I've mostly landed them, but penetrol inside there. The rest is just lanolin, and it's not going to rust out in my lifetime, so they're good. That's all nice and square. This was a bit splayed. I had to bang that together, but that's no big deal. That's all lanolin there. I did pour penetrol down that hole and tipped it backwards and forwards, but other than that, this is penetrol, but that's nice and strong and straight, and I'm happy with that. Bag of split pins for later. Now, these are the shock absorber bolt that I had so much trouble getting out. Now, I thought I was clever by getting some that had the right part number here, but this bit was wrong, and this bit should be right. Well, turns out the reason why the part number's not the same, that's the difference. That's what mine should look like, and that's what I just got. So I put the right part number for this back on eBay, and I managed to find two, one from Taiwan and one from America. They must be getting rare. These ones are all old and they're all split, so I have to replace them. Plus, this is the one I banged up trying to get that bolt out. So I'm glad I found some, because that would be a problem if I couldn't. That corrosion is coming back. I washed it off, but it's coming back and it's growing like mould. I'll have to fix that later on. I was sitting down just looking at the bike, and I noticed that there's a big gap between the barrel and the head, and the closer inspection, there's two head gaskets. Now that opens up a lot of opportunities.